The new League of Legends patch drops tomorrow. Here's everything you need to know. First up, for champion buffs, we have a lot of incredibly mind-boggling buffs. Up first, Aurelia is getting 10% AD ratio on Q. This is a fine buff. It helps her early game a little bit since she doesn't stack that much AD mid to late game. It's fine. Cho'Gath is getting an E damage increase. This is probably because Hail of Blades got nerfed, and that was one of Cho'Gath's best rune in a lot of matchups. LeBlanc is getting a feels-good change where her auto attacks are basically getting more powered up is the easiest way to describe it, since they removed a lot of the items that made AD LeBlanc particularly troublesome. Additionally, they're giving her W and her RW a 10% AP ratio buff, which is just like nutty to me, man. Fix your autos, fine, but LeBlanc's in a fine position and you're giving her more damage buffs. She can already one-shot you. It's a little crazy to me. Qiyana is getting one of the worst buffs I've ever seen. She's already a fine champion both mid and jungle. They're giving her a 10 flat Q damage bump and a 5% bonus AD ratio bump. I have no idea why. Literally zero. No clue. There is absolutely no reason Qiyana should be getting this buff. Last time she got this buff, it was reverted basically immediately because it made her like 55% win rate. It is like crazy to me that they're buffing her this way. It is so disgustingly bad. Yasuo and Yone are getting a passive crit damage reduction, like decrease. So instead of 10% decreased crit damage, they're getting 5% decreased crit damage. Why? They're both in fine positions. I don't get it. Trundle W attack speed is going from 30 to 90% to 30 to 120% as you level it up. I mean, it's a fine change for Trundle, I guess. I don't know if he needed the help, but sure. Finally, Aesol is getting a Q mana cost decrease, as well as a W cooldown decrease later on. Hopefully more people max W on Aesol, since that's a lot better than Emax, and his mana issues are going to be a little better. Maybe he doesn't have to take Presence of Mind every game. The nerf list is pretty good in my opinion. Graves is getting a Q damage nerf. Thank God the champion was completely bonkers. Nasus is getting a passive lifesteal nerf, so he's going to heal less. I think they should just revert the stacking change and keep it nerfed to jungle monsters, but like, whatever, man. Nocturne is getting a base armor and base HP nerf. I don't really think this hurts the champion that much because early game isn't really his issue. Like, he's not going to dominate you level 1. It's the fact that his ulti is just so game warping. It is kind of stupid. Thresh is getting an E damage nerf. I mean, it's a fine change for Thresh. He was very, very strong after a lot of the enchanter nerfs. Vayne top is getting absolutely gutted, and they're shooting Vayne bot lane along the way. Vayne was already very bad bot lane and kind of okay top lane. Now, they're basically completely removing her for both roles. The mana change alone on Q would have been enough to take them out of both roles, but as it stands, ouch. Vayne's going to be dead this patch. Finally, for the last nerf, Xerath is getting like a base armor nerf by like 2, as well as a Q damage nerf. Fine nerfs for Xerath. Champion was completely broken. For item changes, they're going to change Stormrazor by giving it 5% more attack speed. It's a nice buff, but the issue with Stormrazor, it has a really rough build path. Granted, it is a very, very strong item, so it kind of has to have a bad build path to balance that out, but I don't know. I still think it feels a little bad to build, but it'll feel better after the buff. Finally, they're nerfing Sundered Sky again because this item cannot get out of the meta. They're giving it 5 less AD and 50 less HP. Hopefully, finally, the item is balanced. For some final thoughts and cat cam, I don't know why this patch exists. I genuinely don't. The nerf list is totally reasonable, but why are we buffing like half of the champions present in the buff list? It makes absolutely no sense. I get maybe LeBlanc having a feel-good change with their autos, but like that's a lot of power already. It's going to make it easier for her to weave autos for electro trades, and they're giving her like a damage increase that she didn't need. She's already strong, and Yasuo and Yone are in fine positions. Yone is like perfectly balanced right now. He's sometimes seen in pro, and he's picked in regular play. Enough. With he's slightly weak mid lane, but he's good top lane. Like, why does he need a change? I don't get it. It seems like a change for the sake of a change. Like, Riot heard the community wants more change, so they're doing more changes, but the changes they're making are so weird. Like, why aren't we nerfing, you know, maybe Syndra, right? I think Syndra could use a nerf. It doesn't have to be huge, but at least a little bit of a tap down. She's been broken for a while. Like, why are we doing these changes, man? It makes no sense to me. It is very, very frustrating that, like, we're buffing Qiyana in a way that we know is toxic for the community. Like, why? Like, I get having healthy frustration, but she's already in a fine position. Why does she have to be more frustratingly healthy? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't get it. Anyways, have a great day. Sorry, I'm a little frustrated. I want League to be, like, not good again, because I think it's in a fine position, but it's just stale. And I don't think these changes make it less stale. I think they just make it more frustrating. And I don't know if that's a good way to shake up the meta.